כל השנה הלכות בכל יום מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא. בעזרת השם, we're holding on the 26th of the month of Kislev. This is Tuesday before Parashat Miketz. This Yad Dishmaya, we are doing the two mitzvot today. The mitzvot are sponsored לרפואה שלמה לכל עם ישראל בכללם לחיה בת לאה. And בעזרת השם, you should only hear בשורות טובות. Mitzvah number 147. We're not allowed to eat chelev. שלא נאכל חלב. We're not allowed to eat chelev. What is chelev? Fats of an animal, of kosher animals that we have that's supposed to be brought down on brought down on the altar, on the Mizbeach. And those are forbidden fats. So let's see what are we talking about. Mitzvah Kuf Mem Zayin. שלא נאכל חלב בהמה טהורה שנאמר. Specifically, there's a prohibition eating of animal that is pure. A cow, a lamb, sheep, or any other ones of the wild animals, the deer, the giraffe, the moose, all those things, all those animals that are allowed to be consumed by the Jewish people. If there are certain fats that are primarily, specifically designed in the area of between separating the skin and the body itself, and the meat of the body, that will be prohibited. Shenemar, it says over there, Kol chelev shor v'chesed ve'ez lo tochlu. All the fats of the following, the Torah tells us in pasuk in Sefer Vayikra, Perek 7, chapter 7, pasuk 23. Kol chelev shor v'chesed ve'ez lo tochlu. All the fats of the cows, of lambs or goats, you should not be eating. Par katabti b'yisur treifa b'seder mishpatim. I already explained to you, says the rabbi here in Chinuch, that we discussed once already the isur of treifa, of animal that is dead, a carcass that was not shechted. כי מהיות הגוף כלי לנפש ובו תפעל כושר פעולותיה, for the body is a utensil of the soul that will make it feasible for everything to be done for the body. לפי זכותו וטוב מזגו יברך דרך הנפש החוכמה התכונה בו. יבין. So the rabbi says over here that through its pureness, through its clarity, that a person's body will function because of the connection between the soul and the body. And the body will follow everything that the soul directs him to do. מפני זה צריך האדם להשתדל על כל פנים והשארת גופו להעמידו על יושרו ובוריה וכוחו. Okay, and therefore every person is obligated to make sure his body is pure as much as possible, and obviously his pure soul to guide his body. וידוע הדבר המפורסם בין בני אדם כי לפי המאכלים יתפעל הגוף בבריאות או בחולי. And of course everybody knows the most dangerous thing in the world for body is not external, it's actually internal. Whatever you consume, those are the things that make your body healthy or chas v'shalom not so healthy. כי בשר הגוף הזה נפסד בכל יום ויום. לפי המזונות הטובים יתחבק בו בשר בריא וטוב. And obviously, whatever a person consumes, that will determine his functioning abilities of his body. ולפי רוע המאכל יתהווה בהפך. And chas v'shalom, if a person consumes things that are harming him specifically, those are going to be they're showing on his body. ועל כן היה מחסדי האל הגדולים אלינו, אנחנו עם עמו אשר בחר. Therefore, הקדוש ברוך הוא through his vast care and loving for us, that the nation that he has chosen, להרחיק ממנו כל מאכל מזיק על הגוף, and therefore he has distanced us from consuming anything that will chas v'shalom harm us in our bodies. ומוליד בו לחות רעות. And anything that will be devoured and cause anything harmful within ourselves, Hashem distance us from that. וזה הכלל שיש לי לפי הפשט בכל איסור המאכלות. This is the simplest thing, says the Chinuch, what I understand what all the prohibitions of eating is. כמו שאמרנו למעלה, as we already explained many times before. וידוע כי החלב דבק דמוליד לחות רעות. And we know that this fat that we specifically discussing, it's hardening inside, and it will be harming the person within him. What is concerning this mitzvah? The rules about this mitzvah. מה שפירשו לנו זיכרונם לברכה, as the sages taught us in the Masechet Kreitot, Daf Dalet Amud Aleph, on the fourth page, the first side, שאין איסור חלב אלא בשלוש בהמות בכתוב שור וחזב ועז. The main prohibition of fat that we are discussing right now is going to be only in these three animals: the cow, the lamb, and the goat. Right? I'm sorry, I mentioned all the other animals, but these three animals are we talking about specifically. ואותן שלוש בין כשרות או טרפות ונבלות חייב על חלבן. And it doesn't matter, regardless, if these three animals that we just mentioned, the cow, the lamb, and the goat, if they were shechted properly or they were just murdered, whatever it was, non-kosher way, still it's going to be asur, all their, what's his name, all their fats. אבל שאר מיני בהמה וחיה, בין טמאה, בין טהורה, חלבה כבשרה. Okay, however, the rest of the animals that we mentioned earlier, it's their fats is going to be same thing as its meat. For instance, if it's not kosher, it's going to be the person eats that the kosher is going to be obviously failing in that transgression. But again, the isur is only in those three. The rabbi says to reiterate that it's a cow, lamb, a sheep, and a goat. וכן עובר הנקרא שליל, הנמצא במאי שלוש בהמות הנזכרות, אין בו גם כן איסור חלב. ולפיכך אמרו השוחט את הבהמה ומצא בה שליל, כל חלבו מותר. So what is there's certain parts of animal called shalil, and that even though it has a fat in it, it's not a problem. That will be mutar to eat. Rabbi says, ואפילו מצאו חי. Okay? ואם שלמו לו חדשיו ומצאו חי, אבל שלא הפריז על גבי הקרקע ואין לו טעון שחיטה, חלבו אסור. Sorry, so shalil is obviously it's talking about a baby. The baby of it, which is inside the cow, the sheep, and a goat is called shalil. The rabbi says here, and if it's inside the mother and it's not still grown, and if you cut it open and there is fats that are supposed to be grown into that fat which is asur for a regular animal in that area, that fat will be mutar to eat because it's still not not grown animal. However, once it's grown and it is able to function and walk around, that would be asur, the fats of that animal, of that baby. I mean, okay. And also obviously that if a baby once the baby start walking and once somebody wants to eat that, even though it was born from the stomach, let's say that somebody did shchita, we know that there is a rule that if an animal that was nishchat and it has a baby inside, like the famous one right now roaming around, somebody shechting a sheep and finds 4 babies inside the mother. Okay, so if they were to shecht those 4 animals right away, and they don't have to shecht them, but whatever, if they were to slaughter them and eat them, those 4 animals, those fats that within that animals that was taken out, because they were unable to walk around yet, so that fat would be allowed, the rabbi says here. But once the animal could start walking and functioning like a regular animal, those fats around it, separating the skin and the meat, which is by the edge of the backs, that would be asur. So once it start walking, everything will be asur, and it will be the avera will demand a punishment of karet. ולפיכך יש לנו להוציא ממנו כל החוטין וכל הקרומות האיסורין. Obviously, this baby, that if we decide to eat it, you have to still separate take out all the veins and all the things that are still asur. זהו דעת הרמב"ם, זכרונו לברכה, בשליל שכולו לא חדשב, שקלו לא חדשב, שיש קיום כרת בחלבו. This is what Rambam says when the animal that was taken out from the stomach it has completed its growth month inside the stomach. אבל רוב המפרשים חולקים בזה ואמרו דחלבו מותר. This is okay. So again, according to many מפרשים, even after shchita, the baby was taken out, and the baby started walking around, and then somebody decides to eat from it, even the fat of it is still going to be mutar, according to some mefrashim. Rambam does not agree with that. בדברי הגמרא, מחריות כמותן, according to Gemara, mashma, it's like the most poskim, not like Rambam. דהשכחן רבי מאיר ורבי יהודה דפליגין בחרבו, רבי יהודה קיים עלן כמטה הוא דשרה לה. So there's a discussion in the Gemara that Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda argue in respect to that, and halacha is held like Rabbi Yehuda, and therefore will be mutar. ועוד למדנו זיכרונו לברכה, בדין שליל שארבעה סימנים אשר ברחמנה. כלומר שאם נטרפה אמו שוחטה השליל מותר. דרב ירח אמו הוא. So again, there's a few things that we maybe to mention about this baby that is inside the mother's stomach. Let's say, for instance, a cow was attacked and damaged enough to die from it, of the damages. Then you did the shchita and you took out the baby, it's fine. ממש אמרו שם שאם הפריס על גבי קרקע דבעי שחיטה מפני מראית העין. And also we said that if the animals start walking, the whole purpose of the rabbis told us that you need shchita on that animal is only because of marit ayin. It's only because of what people might think that you're eating without shchita. Really, you don't need to do shchita. לבד הוא דבעין עם שחיטה. לפיכך לא מפסיק ושיהיה בדרסה ושאר מיני טרפות. What happens if it falls down and breaks the neck and dies? According to Allah, you're allowed to eat it from it and no problem at all. From that baby that was born, even though now it's a big bull. But since you know that, I guess they would put a mark on it, maybe with a special earring that would differentiate those animals that were born after shchita or after the animal was murdered by their mother when they took out the live baby. So anything that's a live baby that came out after shchita, even though the mother became not kosher, but the baby is kosher, not a problem. According to there's a machloket, but we most agree that it's not a problem. So, okay, let's just go weiter here. This avera, the eating of the fats, is at any time. Even if somehow they go on the moon and they're going to start growing animals on the moon and all those things, it's still going to be anywhere in the world. This is going to be so forever. Males or females are prohibited from eating this animal or their fats. And it'll be more correct. A person went ahead and ate 30 grams of fat. If he did it on purpose, he gets 39 lashes. Okay, a person who did it by mistake has to bring a sacrificial sin offering sacrifice to be forgiven for his unintended sin. Mitzvah Kuf Mem Het 148. There's a prohibition that we are prohibited to eating animal that has the blood of animal, domesticated animal, wild animals, or even birds. שלא לאכול דם בהמה חיה ועוף שנאמר את זה ודם ויקרא זין chapter 7 pasuk 26 וכל דם לא תאכלו, all the blood you are prohibited from eating, from consuming. ונאמר במקום אחר, and it says in another place, לעופר בהמה, it's talking about a bird and an animal, וחיה and animal, domesticated and wild animals, בכלל בהמה. All those things are included, it says in the Torah. So you have domesticated animal and wild animals are in the one word behema in the Torah. And the Torah prohibits eating the blood of these animals and birds in many different locations in the Torah. כתבתי מה שאני חושב על צד הפשט באיסורי המלאכלות, באזהרות ריבה וחרב. I already explained to you many times that eating the non-kosher animals is going to affect our souls and make us very, very unclear in service to God and behavior in this world. ואפשר לומר בדם עוד, כי מלבד רוע ממזגו שהוא רעה המזג. Also we could say that there's more additional evilness that comes from eating blood. יהיה באכילתו קצת קניין ממידת האכזריות. And eating, consuming blood, a person becomes very vicious. שיבלע האדם מבעלי העם שכמותו בגוף. For a person is consuming the blood right straight into his blood, אותו הדבר שבהם החיות, שהחיות ממש תלוי עליו. The life of an animal, we know that the blood is life, sustenance of the whole world, of any creature that roams in this world, and consuming it, you're actually intermingling your blood with their blood. ונפשם נקשרת בו, כי ידוע שיש לבהמות נפש. Okay, as we know that animals have some sort of part of soul. יכוונה החמים, יכמו הנפש החיונית, chiyunit. The sages tell us there is some soul that actually keeps these animals alive, and now you're consuming it, and you're intermingling klomar she'ena sechilid, and that blood of the neshama, of the soul that they have, has no wisdom at all. גם נראה אותם שיש לנפשם בחינה לשמר מנפול באחת החטאים ובקצת דברים אחרים. And the animals have within them a program, a special program that allows them to care for themselves, and therefore us intermingling the two souls are a huge, beautiful, wonderful. The soul that we have, very powerful, intermingling with those animal souls. Again, we're talking about a cow. He didn't take out its soul. He didn't salt it properly. He didn't take out the blood. Consuming it will make you become like a very, very mixed up person. הרמב"ן זיכרונו לברכה כתב וטעם אדם כי ידוע שהנאכל ישוב בגוף האוכל. אם יאכל אדם תהיה עובי בנפש האדם, כמו שנפש הבהמה עבה וגסה. So Ramban explains that eating non-kosher animals, and especially the blood that was not taken out even from kosher animals, let's say a cow, you're eating a burger, a cheeseburger, whatever it is, not kosher animal, trefai, and you happen to eat the blood of it, intermingling with your blood, it makes your neshama, you're becoming like a gas, a very vicious person. כתב עוד כעין זה שאמרתי אני אין ראוי שתאכל הנפש את הנפש. It's and Ramban says that it's not befitting for us consuming creatures that eat meat to have any blood of remnants of the creature that we're consuming. For instance, we're eating a cow, the Jews salt it, and by salting, the matter of proper salting that takes out all the blood that's within any vessel of the meat. And most of the time, when you see redness in the in the packaged packaging that you buy, that redness is actually water that being through blood vessels, and water that went to meat, and the meat, since the meat color is red, that is not blood. What you see in the packages that when you buy, when you cook, this is called water already. That's from refrigeration and from many other things that causes that moisture that come out. It's not real blood. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the people that tell you, oh, look at these Jews, they're eating blood. No, the real blood, first of all, is not so soft. It's not so floating. The real blood is actually like meat itself. The thickness of it becomes dry very fast, and it becomes very stiff. And that's why the Torah tells us not allowed to eat blood. We're not talking about drinking blood. Once it's what we get in the packages, many people confuse those. That's not a blood. That's again liquids that are extruding from the blood from the meat. And again, if let's say even if the meat was not washed, but if you salted properly and you removed the salt, and you still have the something that coming out moist that looks like blood, don't be fooled by it. Again, the meat has its own liquid also, like we breathe and we drink. Where does it all go when you drink? Obviously, it goes into your bloodstream. It goes into the parts of the body that needs for the sustenance, for lubrication. So obviously, the cows also have that, and a lot of people just want to make sure that people are confused and complaining that the hashgacha is not good, maybe, or the stores are not good, or whatever. They didn't do the salting properly. It's not true. It's really not true. It's just the water or liquids that were soaked through meat, and they have the same color of redness, but it's not blood. Again, as we're going to reiterate, point out, it's kedai to point out, blood is thick and it's eatable, not drinkable. Okay, מצווה המדינה המצווה, מה שאמרו זכרונו לברכה, שדם דגים וחגיבים ושקצים ומרמסים ודם האדם, אין חייבים עליו משום דם. So again, all the other things that let's say fish does not have the same isur. If you have a fish blood, it's not a problem. Or you say you have blood from a grasshopper that's kosher, it should not be a problem also. So we're going to be learning allowance to eat certain grasshoppers, whatever. We'll touch on that, say, later. Okay, so the rabbis are going into different, the rabbi goes over here to different discussions of certain bloods, what's going to be isur completely. Baruch Hashem, it's kedai one day to go through it it's not for it right now for the shortness of time. Okay, noeged b'chol makom b'chol zman. The isur of prohibition of eating blood is anywhere at any time. B'zacharim and the kibot, males or females. Ve'over aleh ve'achar kazayit, and the person who went ahead and transgressed the avira and ate from it a 26, 27, 28, whatever measure that you hold by kazayit is. Dam hanefesh b'mezid chayav karet. So a person who ate from it on purpose, he went ahead and ate even non-kosher at a restaurant, and they served you meat, obviously that has blood in it if it's not salted properly, a person will be chayav karet. Eating non-kosher meat, it is a very, very severe punishment, and especially if you didn't take out the blood, it still has blood in it, the punishment is karet. Karet means disappearance of the neshama, or dying before the age of 60. If somebody did it on purpose, he will be karet. But if he did it by mistake, he will has to bring a chatat kavua in the Beit Mikdash. V'imachar kazayit midam ve'avarim b'mezid lokeh b'shogeg patur. So v'imachar kazayit midam ha'evarim b'mezid. So again, if somebody went ahead and ate, let's say in a Burger King, and he was told not to eat there, he would get lashed. If somebody did it by mistake, he will not be. He will be patur, but it's asur. It's prohibited. You're not allowed to consume anything that's taref, anything that's not properly kosher. We're very, very careful. Even after shchita, the salting has to be done properly. And Bezrat Hashem, everyone should stay safe and eat as much as possible. Be very careful. The ashgacha business is very, very serious and very strenuous, and it's one of the biggest avirot in the Jewish community, unfortunately. As I teach many years, if somebody who cares to listen, I prefer people eat 18 million Jews. If there are so many, Baruch Hashem, they all should be eating treifas and nevelas all day, and chas v'shalom, not chas v'shalom, putting people down, putting a person down. A person should be very careful what comes out of our mouth as much as the problem is the hashgachas, one hashgacha puts down the other hashgacha. It is the worst business in the world. If anybody asks me, should I get involved in the hashgacha, I tell them always get out. Don't go into the kitchen. It's not for Jews. Real Jews, those that have yirat shamayim, are not to be promoting their hashgacha by putting down other hashgachas. Promote your hashgacha by telling people what you do to make sure that they eat kosher. Do not promote your hashgacha by telling people that the other people are not kosher, or the other people's hashgacha is not kosher. Those are the isurim. Chas v'shalom, stay away from it. Besides, whatever it is, as much as we could say, as little as we could say, as much as we could stay away from hashgacha talking, as little as we could say about it, it's the best thing. Anybody asks me about hashgacha, I always stay away from it. And I just don't answer. It's not my business. There are other people who are busy with it, who actually know how to ask properly which hashgachas do you eat, and they'll tell you if it's compared to any of the hashgachas that you eat. That's the best way to look for such a Talmid Chacham. There are people who deal with it, and the best way my Rebbe taught me to do hashgacha is you walk into a restaurant, you look out for the mashgiach, you ask the mashgiach a few questions, see if it's on your level. And then you go weiter. Sometimes once I walked into a restaurant, and mashgiach, I asked for mashgiach, and they told me he's the bartender. I told them thank you very much. We got up and we left. That is my preference. I don't hold of mashgiach being a bartender. I'm sorry. So again, that's the message that I would give, is how to find the proper mashgiach. A proper hashgacha is to see what they do. If it's good for you, what they're doing for you, it makes sense to you what they're doing. Hashem, you should have atzlacha, and Hashem should give you siyata d'shmaya, give us all siyata d'shmaya to stay kosher properly.